Alright, we're going to do day 2 of an OCW test with AR comp. We're going to try this different powder. I got a few suggestions yesterday, and I think the node that I'm going to focus on is 27.5. Now, in the original workup, 27.5 gave me the best results. And then there's 28.3 or 4 that we may have to mess around with. I did some bullets with different seating depths, so we'll try that a little bit later. But I'm gonna do another OCW with AR comp. Now, some of you guys were a little confused about what an OCW is. I would suggest going to read Dan Newberry's OCW website. That way you can get familiar with it and see the logic behind it. But anyway, we're about to do that. Alright guys, so I know there were some recommendations about having a more sturdy target. This is what I'm going to have to roll with. This is kind of like a last minute, throw this shit together ordeal. So I'm going to roll with it, and we'll see if we can get some data out of this. I don't think the wind's going to hinder it a whole lot, to where I can get good data out of it and see. Now the goal is, in an optimal charge weight load development, the goal is to find a steady set of groups and find the middle set of groups. That way you have a resilient load. You know, temperature changes on either side. You don't have to adjust your load. You can go out and shoot and it'll still hit the same point of impact. That's the whole point of this test. So we're going to do another one with AR comp, see if we can get some good results like we did yesterday. Alright, waiting for the barrel to cool down. That's the most if you're impatient, that can be the terrible part about shooting reloads. Of course, you know, yesterday after I got all that data, I want to hurry up and get the data now, but I need to remind myself to take the time in between shots. I might have pulled one down there. We're almost halfway through this first string, so we'll go down there and look at it. But yeah, just a comment on the OCW. Really logically, what you're doing is taking these shots in a round robin sequence. Even if you don't give the barrel appropriate time to cool off, it gives an even collection of data, because if you go from the lighter loads, which I think I'm shooting 27.2, down to 28.4, your barrel may be warm, but then in between strings, you wait and let the barrel cool off. So it may be a lot hotter when it gets to 28.4, but when we start our second string, it's going to be cold, and that'll give you a good, you know, good data back down the other way, because you might have been cold starting at 27.2, but it'll be hot, a little bit hotter, in theory, if you don't take the appropriate amount of time to cool in between shots, when it gets down to 27.2. So we're not looking for group size. We are looking for point of impact. Now the barrel, when it shoots, it vibrates like a tuning fork, up and down, and there's shock waves that go back and forth, back and forth. When the shock wave is back here, the muzzle end is stable, and that is the most opportune time for the bullet to exit the barrel. I didn't make this shit up. Chris Long, engineer, made all this stuff up. He didn't make it up. I mean, he backed it by scientific data. So that's one of the reasons I buy into this load development workup. And I've had trouble with this Grendel doing it the regular way. So we're going to try it the OCW way and see just what happens, you know. Putting some scientific data and theory to test. So anyway, we're going to finish this string. We'll go down there in just a second. Interesting stuff here. Of course, you know, you can't make conclusions after the first string, but I mean, there is something going on here. Okay, so we see at 27.2, we kind of start high. 27.4 through 27.8. Now I think I pulled 27.6, and we'll determine that with these next two shots. But 27.4 to 27.8, looking like the same point of impact. That's good. Now 28, 28.2 and 28.4. There's some weird shit going on with that. So 28 kind of broke open. 28.2 went to the left, and then 28.4, I don't know. So we'll have to shoot from 28.4 back to 27.2 and see what kind of data we get. Alright guys, very interesting results indeed. Okay, so we shot back from 28.4 down to 27.2. Now 27.2, that's pretty peculiar. 7.4, 0.6 are all looking pretty good. 7.4's got that one in the black box. Now what you want to look at right now, what we're looking at, I mean, we still have a third shot to do, but if we were to test it, if we were to get results off of this, the center of impact is right here in this corner. Center of point of impact is right here in this corner. So 27.5 might be my OCW. And I got pretty good results with a regular workup with 27.5. Of course, you know, the shit was kind of sporadic, but we'll see what 27.2 does. You know, any shots in that area, I mean, it might be, I don't know, it might be decent. And you know, if this turns out okay, 27.4 might be my OCW, and then I have a charge on either side that probably won't, you know, it'll be a resilient load. I mean, temperature wise, if it gets hot, you know, 27.6, that's just the equivalent. If it gets cold, 27.2, so not bad. And what Dan Newberry says is, if you take your OCW, so we'll just say theoretically it's 27.4, and then you load up one charge with that, and then increase by 1% and decrease by 1%, those three, it'll show how resilient your load is, should shoot under MOA no matter what distance you shoot at. So I haven't tested that theory out yet, but maybe later down the road. Now, right over here, 27.8 and 28, I mean, those look like they got the same point of impact. We'll see what this third shot does. If it opens up, you know, one of those are my scatter nodes. 28.2 definitely is kind of weird. But 28.4, you're not supposed to pay attention to that grouping. But, you know, that's center of point of impact, center. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell right now. We need the third shot to really determine what the hell is going on. Alright, so Dad's got him a man cave with the AC on. That's what I'm cooling this barrel off with. And I think it's cool. Alright, time to do the third string. Alright guys, so we just wrapped it up. Last shots of the OCW, and found, man, it was pretty interesting. Let's go down here and look at this target. I'm pretty pleased with what we got. Okay, so let's look and see what we got here. So right off the bat, we can see that 27.4 is a very nice group. Okay, 27.6, very good group, except for this one little flyer. Now, had that been the same point of impact, that'd have been right in the center. That'd have been 3 shots touching. You know, I'm not gonna make any excuses. I feel like I pulled that one. So if that shot would have landed somewhere in here, that'd have been okay. Anyway, got cut off there. Anyway, basically what we're looking at is 27.4 and 27.6. Those are either side of the OCW. Now the OCW, I believe, is going to be 27.5 or some variance of that. I did some math, and Dan Newberry provides these math calculations as well. He says that the accuracy nodes, or the OCW charges, are 3% apart. So if you take 27.5, multiply times 3%, and you get somewhere in 28.3. And that's interesting because our center of impact, or yeah, center of point of impact is somewhere around here. Okay, it's a little off. So not real sure. The 28.4 had some vertical dispersion, but horizontally, I mean, that'd have been a damn good group if that shot would have been, you know, right in the center there. That'd have been awesome. So I don't know, my accuracy node may be a little bit further over, 28.5 or 28.6. You can tell as we're going, 27.2 starting to come into a node, 27.4, 5, 6 is the node, 27.8 and 28. That's interesting because point of impact is there and center of point of impact is there. I don't really know what to make of that. It starts to open up. There goes some damn deer. Glad they're going right now because I'm done shooting. Man, that's pretty damn cool. Where's the buck at? Probably lounging around. Anyway, I'm gonna have to take this target and analyze it. Now you can really tell 28.2 opened up like a sumbitch. So I mean that may be my scatter node, is what he calls it, as a scatter node. So scatter nodes have accuracy nodes like 1.5% on either side of them. So if you take 28.2 and multiply it times 1.5%, I believe it's like 27.7, if I'm doing the math in my head correctly, 27.6 or 7 or something like that. So, you know, that's pretty close. 28.1 may be the scatter node, and that brings me a little bit closer to my OCW charge. So I'm going to analyze this target, and once again, guys, if you got some information, or if you think you know what the OCW is, man, drop a comment. And remember, we're not looking for the tightest group. 27.4 looks like a badass group. It's a tight group. That may be on the downside of the OCW. That may be at the very beginning. So what we're going for is a resilient load in the middle. So 27.5, either way, I can load up 27.4 or 27.6. They'll all have the same point of impact. And that is the foundation of our OCW. Wind's starting to pick up here. I've been lucky. I got up early this morning. This goddamn heat will scorch your ass if you come out here any later than 9 o'clock. So, man, drop some comments. My last video, it's funny because the accuracy nodes, or the OCWs, I think are the same with 8208 and AR comp. Now I've read a couple places where AR comp's got better velocity, so we may be doing AR comp and messing around with the seating depth. So anyway, we'll have a part 2 with the seating depth with 8208 and AR comp. So stay tuned, drop some comments, man. Let me know what you think.